This is something very special. It is something very deeply personal. My ruminations in March 2020. You know what that was? That was the year of COVID. And I wrote this piece called Going Solo. It's not been shared. I took the courage to share it today. And well, here it is. Raja, my husband. Raja and I have been together for the last 30 years because then it was 30 years, now it's 35. We had met in 1990 when he played Raja to my Rani in my theatre company's play Turandot. We got officially married in 1993 in a simple Vedic ceremony attended by a handful of bewildered friends hustled together last minute. Rudransh, my elder one, was born in 1994 and Rudranuj in 1995. We managed to keep it going for the last 3 decades, and now that we are well into our Banprasthashram, with our boys nearly 26 and 25, and on their own blessed feet, I've decided to taste the experience of going solo. But I didn't know that the whole world could go solo in a few days' time. For me, going solo means so many things. It means removing the comforting tag of married. Solo means not wearing sindoor, beaming my marital status. Solo means trading into uncharted territory without holding the proverbial husband's hand, dispensing with the ubiquitous shield of male protection. Solo means to virtually live alone on the farm on fruits and vegetables, in inclement weather, in charge of my own protection and safety. We have our very nice farm in Orcha, Madhya Pradesh. So that was the reference. Solo for me is to be answerable to no one, to not having to explain my plans, travels, friendships, and dreams. Solo means no one will call and check at night to see if I'm okay and if I have eaten and how my day has gone. Solo means I have to figure out my own finances, every coin of it. Solo means I don't automatically get the privilege of picking up the phone and getting a good crib about our sons with their father. Solo means to go to family functions literally solo and have tough dinosaur conversations with friends and family about the nature of going solo. Solo for me is to navigate dusk alone, which to me has always been reminiscent of companionship and homecoming after a day's work. Solo for me is now spending time not worrying about our small family of four, but seeking ways of serving a larger community. Solo for me is to step out of my comfort zone and into unknown terrains with a map, a local phone, and some unfamiliar foreign currency as I slip up and down the bowels of the earth in subways and metros with exotic foreign names. Solo for me is making new friends and hearing their stories now that I have so much time. Solo for me is not having to rush back home until I want to, savoring the freedom and risk of meeting a stranger in a distant city, drinking tea or a glass of wine, and not worrying about conventional rules of fidelity or morality. Solo for me is making my own language, piecing together my own words for all who, like me, have time to be heard. Solo for me is unhooking old habits of eating, sleeping, cooking, cleaning, denying myself the familiar clatter of comfort as I make new arrangements with myself. Going solo is able to honestly answer in one line when someone asks me where my husband Raja is. I really don't know. I guess he's figuring his Vanaprastham too. This I wrote 5 years ago, going solo, and I'm just about trying to do that. Work in progress.